Hey everybody, it's Sean McKenzie. We are finally back with Neat in the Heat. I know it's been a really long time since we put out a long form video. I know I put out some short form videos here and there over the last couple of weeks, couple of months, but life has gotten very busy. Um, Kayleen may not be joining us for a little while, for at least 4 to 5 months, because we are having our first child. We are very, very excited. So that has been taking up a lot of our time trying to get ready, with getting nursery stuff ready, going to doctor's appointments, ultrasounds, all that good stuff. Everything is going great. We're super excited to have a baby boy coming. So that's why we haven't been around for a little while. But it is the beginning of 2026. So what does that mean? It's time to pick what was the best bourbon of 2025 that I was able to get my hands on. I'm going to get on my soapbox just a little bit before we get started. The idea of doing this is a couple of reasons. One, I really like to do something fun. I don't want to be one of those people on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok that just gives you their top 5, top 10, top 15 bourbons that they tried or that they borrowed someone's bottle for. I want to actually give you something fun with this bracket that we're going to do, and you'll see the graphic here in a little bit when we get started. But I wanted to give you something where a lot of these bottles are still obtainable. Some of them are not that easy to obtain. Some of these in the blinds that we're going to do today are kind of not easy to find, but you can still find them. Maybe not super easy, but you can still definitely find them at reasonable prices. There's a couple in here that are really hard to find that I was very lucky to have a friend help me out with it. But other than that, most of these bottles have been on the shelves or I won them in a raffle. So if you were there at that raffle in Arizona, in Tucson, Arizona, you would have had the same chance I did at winning one of these bottles that's out here, especially on this blind today. So I wanted to give you something where I physically have the bottle to do the blind, and it is my personal bottle. It's not a friend's bottle. I did have a friend say, you could have borrowed one of my bottles for your blinds. And I just said, I appreciate that because he's got a lot of really, really hard stuff to find, a lot of distillery only things. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something that was really authentic because I try hard to find some of these bottles, or I get lucky and I win them, or I get lucky and I find them at the store. But that was kind of the idea behind doing it this way. So everything that you see here from here on out on these blinds that we're doing with the 2025 whiskey/bourbon of the year, every single one of these is my bottle. It's either been up here with videos that we did at the beginning of 2025, or it's going to be bottles that you'll have seen for the first time now that we're getting back into the videos. So I'm going to get off my soapbox and we are going to get started. So this, we have 4 different regions that we're going to do, just like your March Madness bracket, right? I really got creative and really wanted to do it. I know some other people do brackets and stuff like that, but I think mine might be a little bit more creative than some others. So we've got the different regions. We've got the barrel-proof battlefield region. It's all going to be high-proof. Some of those things are hard to find in that one. I'm not going to give you what's in that just yet. I'm only going to tell you what's in this blind that we're doing today. We have the finishing school. So everything going to be finished in some sort of different cask, right? You've got a Nulu maple that I can tell you about. You've got the Penelope Brulee, the Penelope Havana, those types of bottles. Then you've got the classic proof, which is right here. So everything that's a little bit, under, I think the highest proof one that we have is the Russell's that's at 110, I believe. Yeah, the Jack 12 is at 106 or 107. Jack 10's at 97. Everything else is around 100 or under. Actually, the Penelope estate might be a little bit higher than 110. Nope, 106. So yeah, 110 is the highest that we have in that classic proof division. And then finally, we have the Rye Riot. Some of this was a little bit harder to put together. I may switch it out a little bit, so you won't know that it was switched out, but I might end up switching it out. So it's stuff that's either just all rye bourbon, or it has a lot of rye in it that you can definitely taste, that I thought would go well in that division. So let's get started. I know this is a long video, but please stick with me. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment of which one you thought would win. And remember, this is going to be authentic to my palate of what I'm feeling right here, right now in this first round. We're going to go through all 8 of these. We're going to try to. We may not, but we're going to try to go through all 8 of these. We're only going to do a ½ ounce of each. I've got a little thing here to measure out so that we're not going to drink too much here on this video. Got some water to kind of go through and clean out the palate between each one. We're going to see which one of these wins, right? It could be the number 8 seed, or it could be the number 1 seed. So let's go through it real quick, the 1 through 8. So the number 1 seed is going to be the Jack Daniel's 12-year batch number 3. This one I did win at a raffle out here in Tucson at one of the great restaurants that we go to, Nana's. They had an event with Chris Fletcher, who is the master distiller at Jack Daniel's, and I was able to win this. So this was really awesome. Again, I won this one, right? Didn't have to wait in line or anything like that. I did win it, and it was pretty cool to win this bottle. Coming in at the number 2 seed, this is the Jack Daniel's 10-year. This one is batch number 4, coming at 97 proof. This one I actually found at Costco. So if you were around when Costco dropped them all throughout the country, it wasn't a lot. I got very lucky that I saw a post online about it, and I went and I got one of these, and then I went right back and I got another one. So we have another one of these sitting in the cabinet right now, but we were able to get the Jack 10 this year, and that is the number 2 seed. Number 3 seed is the Knob Creek Limited Edition 21-year. You can actually find these still in different places. I know like AJ's out here in Tucson, they still have one behind the glass. So this one's definitely obtainable. It's a beautiful presentation, beautiful bottle, beautiful little kind of box that it comes in. Super, super cool. Next is going to be the Old Fitzgerald 7-year bottle and bond. This one is actually the newer release. This is the fall of 2018. The other one was the spring of 2018 that came out earlier in the year, which I have had and already drank, but we were able to get this one, and this one is also really, really good. So this one's the number 4 seed. The number 5 seed, yes, this one has been drank. I know there's no bottle or neck pour going on. I did open this already. I've had 2 bottles of this, so this one's just a newer one that has been opened, but it has already been opened. This is the Eagle Rare 10-year, and this is out of Tap and Bottle out here in Tucson. They did their own pick with it, and I was able to snag a couple of these, so this was really awesome and really good. Probably the most recent purchase that I made was the Penelope Private Select 10-year. This is super awesome. I think Penelope blew it out of the water in 2025. We'll get into that as these videos go on. There are a lot of Penelopes in this bracket. I definitely would say that they definitely crushed it in 2025. Number 7 and number 8 are barrel picks from Nana's, our local Mexican restaurant. They do a lot of barrel picks throughout the year. So this one is their Old Forester single barrel 100 proof, and the Russell's Reserve Private Barrel Select. This one's 8 years old. I don't know how old this Old Forester one is, but they're both barrel picks, and number 7 and number 8 seeds. So let's get into it. Again, long video. We might just do the first 4. So we might just do the first, 2, and then we might break it up and come back and do the other 2. I don't know just yet. It's a very long video, but stick with me here, all right? So we're going to get started. Right, we're doing this live and in person, right? We're doing 1/2 ounce each of these, and they're gonna go in. Gonna try and get out as much as possible, so there's not a lot of like mixing when I use this same glass again. Some of you may, have something to say about that. I don't know, and I don't really care if there's like a little mixing going on. This is my video, so I'm excited for it. So we're going to write on here, we're going to write the JD12, right? So there it is, JD12. Put that in there. And then the next one is going to be the Russell's Reserve. So just the RR real quick right there. And I always kind of put it face in so that there's no like maybe kind of telling which one is which. I really try not to do which one is which as much as possible, but here we are. So we're gonna get back to that half ounce. Again, same thing. I know it looks like this hasn't been opened, but it definitely was opened and drank just a couple days ago. So there's no neck pour kind of thing going on. So everything's been opened. Everything's sat out for a little while. Some have obviously been sitting on the shelf a little bit longer than others. But here we go. So we're getting the solo blind right here. We're gonna spin it around for a little bit. I'm super excited to get back into these videos. I think 2026 is gonna be a really fun year putting these videos together. I'm gonna try and do something different. We might add some different type of content in this channel, or it might be on a different channel that I have for golf and real estate. So we don't know which one we're gonna kind of merge together, but I'm excited to see what 2026 has in stock. So, all right, so we've got our first one going. So let's dive into this. We're gonna keep spinning it around. I have no idea what's in here, but let's go. It's this one. This one on this side is not the JD12, and this one on this side is not the Russell's Reserve, right? They are, who knows? Let's do it from the front to back, right? It doesn't matter, but let's give this one a try. Oh, that one's really good. It's got a very deep flavor to it, really oaky. A little bit of vanilla, but I definitely get a lot of oak with that one. Again, there's only half ounce, so this might go a little bit faster than I think it might go. So we might be able to get through all of them today. Who knows? That one's really, really good. Who knows? Maybe we get an upset right off the bat, right? There's always one of those upsets in March Madness, right? 5 versus 12. Every blue moon, there's a 1 versus 16 that loses. You always get some of those other upsets, the 10 upsetting, 15 upsetting the 2. But here's hoping that my palate is at least halfway decent enough to pick out the ones that should be winning, I guess, quote unquote. But who knows? This is all subjective, right? Today, one of these might be really good. Tomorrow, it might be really, really bad. I can already tell right off the bat that second one has a completely different flavor to it, right? Obviously, yes, this is the Jack Daniel's 12-year. It is just regular old number 7 aged for 12 years. That's all it is. There's nothing special to it, which I think is really awesome. Russell's Reserve obviously was a barrel pick from a specific restaurant, so it was other people's palates picking out that barrel. You just never know. Maybe their palates don't align with mine. I tend to think that the Nana stuff really aligns with mine. Their stuff is always very, very good. So yeah, let's try this first one again, I think. I think this was the first one. Yeah, that first one, man, is just very deep in flavor. I think I like it a lot more. And again, this one, I think these ones are almost identical in proof, right? This one's 110 and this one's 107. So, I mean, for a 1 versus 8, they're pretty close. Obviously, one's 8 years, one's 12 years. 4 years does a lot to bourbon and whiskey, right? We've done some other videos with 10-year-olds and all this other stuff. So we know that age does a lot. So let's do this last one and then let's pick our favorite. That one just has a little bit more mute flavor. Again, I'm not saying it's the Russell's or the Jack Daniel. I'm just saying it has a little bit more muted flavor. It's still really good, right? None of these I mean, obviously all of these I drink on a daily basis, but I drink throughout the year, throughout, the weekend, all of that good stuff. So it's not saying that any of these are bad by any means, but let's see which one. I'm definitely going to go with this first one right here on this side. So let's see what it is. And we have an upset, right? We have our very first upset. Again, my palate just may not be what, what it should be, but we picked that very first one, right? As the Russell's Reserve. This one is going to go on to the next round, right? I think a lot of people do, in my opinion, when I see people's top 5s, top 10s or whatever, I can almost guarantee you I can guess which ones are going to be in there, right? They're going to be ones that are extremely hard to come by. Actually, almost all of them are going to be extremely hard to come by, and most people can't get it. So how are you going to be able to tell them if they were right or wrong? But we're going to do this. We're doing this live right here, right now. And the Russell's Reserve won, right? This one's eliminated. This one's going back on the shelf, and it's not making it on to be the winner. Is that going to be continuing on, throughout the series? Who knows? But as of right now, the Russell's Reserve Nana's Barrel Pick is moving on to the next round. So we're going to reset and we're going to do the next ones. Let me get my computer back on so I can remember. Well, I guess I just go number 2 to number 2. So we are going to do that. Jack Daniel's 12. Just had a muted flavor to me. So we're going to kind of rinse out just a little bit. Get a little hydrated too, right? And we're going to move on to the next one. So the 12-year has been eliminated. I'm sure if you're even watching this, it's a long video. Who knows? I'm sure you're frustrated and saying, "Oh man, how can you not pick the 12-year? It's one of the best bourbons of 2025." And of course, I know a lot of people have picked this year the Jack Daniel's 14 as the best one of the year because that came out for the first time this year. So we're going to pick this up, grab our pen, and we're going to do the Jack Daniel 10. Pardon my handwriting, that says Jack Daniel's 10. It's going to face that way so you can't tell which one it is. Get all the water out. This is going to be the Old Forester OF. Don't confuse it with OnlyFans. We're not that kind of channel. And I don't know if I could ever make that kind of money. It'd be nice though, right? So we're going to pour in our ½ ounce. I'm pretty shocked. I'm sure you all are shocked. Again, we're going to do some like short videos too so that you can kind of see a little bit of how everything did. I'll kind of do the vertical videos for shorts and Instagram and whatnot so that you can kind of see like the highlight reel essentially of how everything went down on this video. All right, so we have the Old Forester right here. We're going to kind of put this off to the side as the one that made it through the next round. We're going to get our top and put this on carefully. All right, it's time to spin it. We're going to spin it quite a few times so it's truly blind, right? These are truly blind. Again, tomorrow I could tell you that the Jack Daniel's 12 is the best thing I've ever put in my mouth and the best thing I've ever done, and it could be the best bourbon since sliced bread. But it wasn't, right? It is what it is. So we're gonna move on. I was shocked. I'm gonna be honest. I was very shocked. Very, very shocked. I went and tasted them off camera when the light went out, tasted them off camera, knowing which one was which. The Russells taste a little bit better to me. And that's just to me, right? I have no bias, nobody's sponsoring this, but it is what it is. So here we go. Here's the next one. Russell's 10, or not Russell's, Jack Daniel's 10-year batch number 4 versus the Nana's Mexican food pick, the Old Forester single barrel 100 proof. Again, pretty close in proof. This is 97, this is 100. So again, only 3 off from last one. So not knowing that they're going together like that, I think I did a pretty good job putting these together. That first one has a lot of oak to it. I can't really taste anything else besides the oakiness of it. It's pretty good. It doesn't have like a little bit of like that like vanilla that I got off the Russells now that we know what it is, with that like oak and vanilla. Let's do that one again. Yeah, there's not a lot going on with it. in my head at least, right? When I try it, there's not like anything standing out. This one smells a little bit better. That has a little bit more going on to it, maybe. Again, it's subtle, right? There's a difference, right? Like, these are different ages on obviously, but they're all finished the same way, right? They have to be finished in their barrels the same way. So I don't know. This one's pretty close. Hmm. That second sip gave it a little bit more. Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one. I'm just gonna kind of go for it. The Old Forester, right? What I think is interesting about the Old Forester winning and now the Russell's Reserve winning is, right, yeah, age adds complexity to it, right? But does it take out, does it just overwhelm you with the oakiness from the barrel, right? I know that when I tried the the 10, the 12, and the 14 this year, I do know that in my notes that as the got up in the age, right, it's a lot of just oak. And that's kind of it. I didn't really like the 14, to be honest with you. I know a lot of other people didn't like the 14. Um, but yeah, I mean, here we go, right? Another upset in the bracket. The Old Forester takes down the Jack Daniels 10, and we'll see if we keep going. If not, if all of the ones that all of the high seeds lose because my palate is shit, then maybe we don't post this video, you never see it, and we go back to the way things were, and all four of these ones should have won over these four. But who knows? If you're not seeing this video, then you will have never known, right? You will have never known. All right. We've had two upsets so far. Is that going to continue? It's possible. Who the heck knows? I don't really know anymore. I don't know anymore. I thought I seeded all of these pretty well, in my opinion. Maybe I just did the rare ones versus the not super rare ones. I don't really know. I do know that if it was based on like coolness and the coolness factor of how you get this open with the Knob Creek, this one would have already won and we wouldn't even be making videos because this is probably the coolest box out there. Um, this is the Knob Creek limited edition, aged 21 years. Again, what's going to happen when we do this versus the 10 year, right? Should we have done 10 versus 10, 10 versus 10? No, not really. I did it based on what I like and what would more gravitate to, I guess, if I had an unlimited supply of some of these. Because some of these I don't want to drink all of, considering like this one, the Russells, the Jack 12, the Eagle Rare 10. I don't want to drink them all because then they're gone and then you can't really get them, especially barrel picks, right? Once they're gone, they're gone. Um, so here we go. I do know that we did do a blind if you saw on Instagram or TikTok, um, maybe not Instagram or YouTube, maybe. We did do a blind of the Knob Creek 21 year versus the Old Fitzgerald 7 year. And I won't tell you which one won, maybe after we do this. So here is the Knob Creek KC. Maybe it will win and do better than the Kansas City Chiefs that lost and aren't in the playoffs this year. But who knows? Who knows? We've had two upsets. It's pretty awesome. It happens. It's going to happen. I'm not a professional. If I was a professional, there would be a lot more of you subscribed to this channel. But I'm not a professional, and there's not more of you subscribed to this channel. So subscribe. We're just going to rant now, I guess. All right, now we're going, oops. Well, I did 1 ounce, so there's a little bit more in there. This one is the Penelope 10-year. This is part of their estate collection that comes out every year. Last year, not last year, 2024, now that it's the new year, I had seen these and I heard they were pretty good, but I never got one. So here we go, P10 going in here. I had heard about them and I wasn't super into bourbon as crazy as I am now. But I had heard about them, never really bought them. Now we got the 9 and the 10. The 9-year is not in this bracket because the 10-year beat it out on a blind that my friends and I did on New Year's Eve. So that is why you don't see the 9-year, even though the 9-year is right there. So we are going to put this around, gonna spin it around, and we're gonna go. All right, I know. It's crazy. Let's see what happens. Let's splash it up my nose, so now that's all I'm gonna smell, right? That one's really good. That one you can taste some vanillas, the oakiness, a little bit of like a little bit of fruit to it. Again, one of these is 10 years old. Here, we'll put this one in front here. One of these is 10 years old. One of these is 21 years old, right? They're twice, it's been in a barrel twice as long as this one was, right? What's that going to do? Are we going to have another crazy upset? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Maybe I did this all wrong. That has like a, that has a really harsh taste to it. Again, we've tried what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bourbons now, 3, 4, 5, 6 now, right? So palate could be a little shot. That one has had a very, very slicing flavor to it that kind of caught me off guard. That just has a nice, mellow, easy flavor that's not anything out of the ordinary. The Penelope is 106 proof. This is 100 proof. So again, what is that? 3% off. I don't think 3% is going to really do that much. I don't even think I'm going to try this one. We're going to think we're just going to go with this. What is it? What is it? It's the Penelope 10-year. Interesting. Interesting. I'm thinking about all of my life's choices at this moment, whether or not I know what I'm doing. That just cuts right to you. Oh, I don't think I like that. Wow. Okay. Just like the Kansas City Chiefs, they're not making it onto the playoffs. They're not making it onto the next round. So this one's going back over here. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. Maybe I just like the stuff that's easy to get, right? All of these are easy to get. All of these are a little bit harder to get. Maybe that's just where we are. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really finish all of these, so I'm going to finish these real quick, and then we will come back and we'll do the final one, and we'll kind of get out of here. All right, so we're back. Had to finish those drinks, take a phone call real quick, but I mean, I don't know how I feel that every upset has won, but maybe it just goes to the fact that maybe stuff that is hard to find isn't really worth it. You ever thought of that? Maybe. Or maybe I'm just way too new at this and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'd like to think that I do, because I drink bourbon and whiskey quite often. So I would like to think I know what tastes good and what doesn't. But yeah, so we're gonna keep going. We have one more to do. Maybe Old Fitzgerald Bourbon will be the one to prevail. So we've already poured these, so I'm gonna put these right here for you. So this one is the Eagle Rare 10-year barrel select from Tap and Bottle out here in Tucson. And this one here is the Old Fitzgerald 7-year. So I already poured those off camera. So we are going to get started. I feel very indifferent about what has happened today. I'm going to text my friends about what happened, and we'll see what their opinions are about posting this video. And like I said before, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then you've never seen this video. And none of this will have ever happened, and it was all just a dream, right? So, spinning this a lot. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Old Fitzgerald 7-year bottom bond, Eagle Rare 10-year, 45% versus 100%. Again, very, very close in proof. Both of them have been opened. I know this one only has glass, maybe about 1 ounce taken out of it, but we don't get that neck pour, so hopefully that doesn't do anything. Or maybe it does do something, and this one wins because this one didn't taste very good from the neck pour. Who the heck knows, right? Oh, this one smells really good right off the bat. Uh, it smelled better than it tasted. Um, again, it's got very, very subtle flavor to it. Again, could it be the proof? Could it be the age? Uh, I don't know, right? Because these are both very different, right? This one is higher in age, so it could have a more complex flavor, which we know doesn't agree with me, apparently. But this one has a lower age, but a little bit higher proof, that sometimes the higher proof pulls out some more complexity as well, right? So I prefer a little bit higher proof stuff. I just think that I like it a little bit more. And honestly, that is correct because the 12 versus this one, the Russell's was higher proof. The Jack 10 versus the Old Forester 100, the Old Forester was higher proof. The Penelope versus the Knob Creek, the Penelope was higher proof. So maybe we finally have one that will win. Who knows? It's just a crazy game that we play now. That one was really good. That oakiness, that vanilla, that like maybe a little bit more, um, maybe a little bit more of the proof came through with that one. That one did taste a little bit better, I will say. And you know, we're just gonna end this whole video and this whole channel if I pick the Eagle Rare, but probably not. Uh, this has just been baffling, and it's been pretty cool to see that I liked the stuff that you could go get right now, right? If you came to Tucson, Arizona, right? Um, you could still get the Russell's Reserve from Nana's. You could still get the Old Forester from Nana's. And you most likely could still find the Penelope 10-year here. The only one that's not going to be easy to find because there's no more of these is this Eagle Rare barrel pick. But you could still get all of these. And that was the purpose of this, right? That if something like this happened, maybe not to this extent, but you could still get all of these, right? You can still go and purchase all of these and you don't have to overpay. Yeah, I like that one. This second one, I think it has a little bit more punch. So I think it's the Old Forester, or in the Old Forester, the Old Fitzgerald. Um, Do I hope it's the Old Fitzgerald? I do, because I really like this one. I still love Eagle Rare. Obviously, I don't know if it's in the camera, but I have 4 bottles of Eagle Rare. Um, so I do really like it. But I do love this Old Fitzgerald. When I drank the earlier release, I was really upset because I couldn't find it anymore because I really did like it. I didn't like it at first, and I think I talked to some people about it that I didn't like it at first. But the more I got into it, and then tasting this one, the fall release, I really liked it. So here's hoping that it is the Old Fitzgerald, and you're going to see it first. I don't know. It is. It's the Old Fitzgerald. We got one. We finally got one that was supposed to win. In my opinion, the closer of the two, I guess, based on rankings, maybe this one should have gone up against the Penelope Old Forester versus the Old Fitzgerald because they're both 100 proof. But it is what it is. That one is really good. It's got oakiness. It's got some vanilla. It's got some cherry. It's got some other fruits kind of in there. Kind of a little leather in it as well. But it's very good. This one's just maybe a little bit more tame, I guess, because it's only 45%. Maybe if it ever came out as a higher proof thing, maybe at 50%, 55, 60. Obviously, you can find Eagle Rare 12, you can find Eagle Rare 18. I know like Trevor's in Phoenix has Eagle Rare 25 that they're pouring right now. So maybe if it was a higher proof, it'd be a little bit better. But I think that this one's it's just a little bit too tame for me right now. It is the lowest proof of the 8. So yeah, maybe that had something to do with it. But that Old Fitzgerald is extremely, extremely good. So that's where we are, right? Here are our top 4 that are moving on in the bracket. Taking down the Jack Daniel's 12-year was the Russell's Reserve Barrel Select 8-year, distilled in 2017 and dumped in July of 2025. Then we have the Old Forester Nana's Pick. Nana's Bros keeping it 100 because it is 100 proof, taking down the Jack Daniel's 10-year. You know, again, this is really good. I was really hesitant or anxious because I didn't know if I was going to have enough of this by the time we got to these videos because it is really good and it seems to be the thing that I gravitate towards when I want just like one drink before going to bed. So this one is very, very, very good. And then the Penelope taking down the Knob Creek 21-year, the highest aged bottle that we have at 21 years. Penelope 10-year taking it down. Penelope did amazing this year. There's a lot more that I couldn't get, right? You had the 17-year, 20-year, 13-year. I think I tried the 17-year in a tasting, but you have the cigar blend that's going to be in the bracket. You have the Havana that's in the bracket. You can't see, but it's on the shelf in the bar area. We have the Brulee that's going to be in the bracket. So you have what? 1, 2, 3, 4 Penelopes out of 32. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. 1 out of every 8 is a Penelope. Pretty good. Then we finally had the non-upset, right? Old Fitzgerald. Old Fitzgerald is really, really good. I've never tried anything older than this 7-year Ball and Bond. I know they make a bunch of other stuff, right, with great bottles and decanters. But this one is really good. I honestly, if I were to tell you which one I think could go the farthest in the low proof region, is I think it's these two. Honestly, I think it's the Old Fitzgerald 7 and the Old Forester Barrel Pick. Who knows? You'll have to stick around and find out for the next video. But it took down the Eagle Rare, the Old Fitzgerald. So your winners up front, your losers that are going home in the back. Thank you so much for watching this incredibly long video. I hope you have watched enough of this to laugh at me about how bad my palate is, maybe, of the things that maybe should have won versus the things that did win and move on. But I wanted to give you the most real experience probably on the internet. And I don't say that lightly. I do think this is the most real experience on the internet. And maybe I'll post just about that I do think this is the most real interpretation of what happened this year on the internet. I think a lot of people do it for hype. I really do, right? Making Eagle Rare 18 their number 1 bottle, making if you see it, there is a George T. Stagg here. I was very, very lucky to get one for Christmas. Shout out to my friend TJ and my wife Keeleen. They were able to orchestrate that for me. But besides that, I think people do it for hype, right? Why not? Why not do the things for hype? The Penelope 13s, the 20s, the Old Heaven Hill, 19-year, the Parkers, the William Heaven Hills, the um, William LaRue Weller, the Jack Daniels 14, the stuff that it's extremely hard to find that a normal bourbon person watching these videos or scrolling through these videos really is not going to take the time to go find or build those relationships to get those sent to them. Um, or they just don't know a lot about it and they want to see something that's real. I think this is the most real top 25 or top 2025 bourbon list that you are going to see on the internet. So thank you so much. Again, off my soapbox again. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's really, really long, so I really hope you made it through it. But you'll see some of the shorts here in just a second that will be linked to it about who won versus who. Again, the Russell's Reserve barrel pick, the Old Forester barrel pick, the Penelope Estate Collection 10-year, and the Old Fitzgerald 7-year Bourbon are moving on to the next round in the low proof region. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Definitely comment because who the heck knows? Just tell me how bad I am. It's fine. I don't care. I'll comment back to you. Or tell me how good I did. Maybe you're in Arizona and you've had a couple of these. Maybe you have the Penelope 10-year. Maybe you have the new old Fitzgerald, or maybe you have the other one from the spring and you think that one was a little bit better. But definitely let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next region takedown.